Hey, yo, what's up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Tuesday, right? I mean, wait, no. Fuck that. Wednesday. Wednesday. Uh, welcome, everybody. It's nice to have you all here, but listen, somebody said this place is gonna turn into a war zone real quick, and I don't deny that, all right? Because I want to be the bigger man here. I'm gonna take my stream off of sub only mode. All right, I'm gonna trust that people can have a conversation in a civil manner. At least people in my community. All right. I turned off subscription only mode. So I'm not gonna force people to be sub to me just to type an opposing comment. All right. So I mean, you're all free to disagree. I don't want this to be an echo chamber of like, yeah, Walrus, exactly. But I have some points to make, and I've made videos about it. But this is a much more raw interface, I guess, for us to have a conversation. Because when I make videos, it's just me talking. I don't get to hear your immediate response. I don't get to see what you guys think in regards to certain points that I come up with, right? So that's what live streams are for. We were supposed to have an account review, and okay, they are here. So we'll do the account review towards the end. Small meow, if you are here, I'll just message them just in case. All right. So, I don't know exactly what Yelan is about. I think I know roughly like 15% of what she does, like the bare minimum. And here's the first point I want to dispel, right? People be like, oh, Walrus, you don't look at leaks. You don't know anything. You don't know the full picture. So you have no right. Listen, people are straight up telling me you have no right to talk about this character because you don't know the leaks. You don't know everything about her. You haven't read the Theory Crafters journal. You haven't you haven't done your homework, right? But what people are mistaking is that I'm trying to have a conversation. I'm not out here holding a TED talk, right? I'm not doing a master class on how Yelan is supposed to work and function, right? I'm out here as a person having a discussion with other people within my community, right? That's the thing that people don't seem to understand. And I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Should content creators, or should anybody, right? So does that mean people who don't look at leaks are banned from talking about future characters? Like, you're straight up banned. You can't, like, no one here, if you haven't seen the whole leak of Yelan, you can't talk about her. Is that what we're going towards? Like, is that the direction? Or is it just content creators, right? Oh, Walrus, you have such a huge following. You have influence, right? So you cannot talk about things when you are not educated about them. That could be what they're getting at, right? So let's talk about that. How many people who watch my content are here to, like, copy paste what I do? To be like, wow, Walrus, I'm literally gonna listen to you and turn off my brain completely and you alone. I say this oftentimes, right? People need multiple inputs to piece together a full picture. The more inputs you have, the closer to reality it is, right? So I'm just one voice. In this case, I am the voice of concern. Right, I was concerned about Yelan, not about the character. I was concerned that Hoyoverse is going to take the easy way out, right? Kind of slap some things on here, slap some things on there, and just ship her like it doesn't even matter. Because that's what they've done over and over again, right? With exceptions to a few characters. And people keep saying, oh, Kazuha is an Inazuma character. Yes, canonically, he's from Inazuma, but I don't count Kazuha as an Inazuma release. Kazuha was a patch 1.6 release. He was part of the previous era of characters with previous era design philosophies, right? So I'm talking about ever since we got into Inazuba, the only two characters that shine above the rest are Raiden Shogun and Ayaka. Those are the two characters. They both did good. And for the most part, those characters did have leaks about them. Those characters did have people getting excited for them, but it was never to the scale of what happened afterwards. I think a lot of the times these people who consume leaks, because let's be real about one thing here. If you consume leaks, you are looking forward to the future. You're actively looking forward to what's coming up next. You're trying to get excited for what's to come as opposed to what we have. You try to live ahead of time so you can prepare, so you can, do whatever you want to your account to put yourself in the best position to succeed. That's why the majority of people look at leaks, right? I don't think anyone is out here looking at canonical story leaks. Like you're searching like, oh, what's going to happen in the next Archon quest? Because everybody wants to experience that for themselves. But you're looking at character leaks, you're looking at what they do, so you can start theorizing what you can do to power up what characters, to start farming for what artifacts, to start pre-farming for whatever the hell materials you need. So when the character drops, you can get the character and do the best you can with that. More damage, right? More team compositions. That's why you're looking at leaks, right? Am I wrong? Like, are people looking at leaks just to jerk off a couple weeks before everyone else? I don't think so, right? So, right now people are saying, Walrus, you can't talk about this because you have too much influence. Like, but I don't. Nobody watch my content as gospel. Nobody watches anyone's content as gospel. You guys think people who watch like everyone who watches Ziox's video are not gonna question things here and there to double check things for themselves? Sure, some might, but most won't, right? So I'm just saying, like, stop using that as an excuse. Like, oh, Walrus, you're saying this stuff, or like Tectone is saying this stuff, or like Mtrash is saying this stuff, or any content creator is saying something, but like that they're influencing the community, that they're damaging the community. The only thing that is damaging the community are people who are being overly toxic for no freaking reason at any opposition. I'm talking free-to-plays, pay-to-wins, freaking Hu Tao mains, Raiden mains, like Zhao mains, whoever. There's the good, there's the bad. And the only damage that's been done to this community are the people who go out of their way to be assholes, right? It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. It's just someone's opinion, right? If you don't agree with it, hit the dislike button. Maybe write a comment, be like, yo, dude, don't think you're right about this one. Not feeling it. That's fine. I never said don't disagree with me. I actively encourage you to disagree with me. Provide something different. Add something to the conversation, right? Right? So I'm out here giving my thoughts, my input. You can say my input is irrelevant, you can say it's invalid, you can say that, but to say you shouldn't give an input, that's kind of like peanut brain stuff. That's how I feel, right? At the very least, that's how I feel. If you're telling somebody, hey, you can't talk about this because you're not qualified over a video game, over a character, right? That's still in beta, right? I mean, if you want to be derogatory towards somebody, that shows a lot of character, right? If you're out here telling somebody like, oh, they're dumb, you're an idiot, you're stupid, and that, like, without providing, like, talking about anything, like, sure, provide some points. You can say, hey, that's completely wrong, here are the points as to why. Sure, we can talk about it. I might be wrong, I might be right, right? So today I want to talk about, I mean, it's with regards to the last two videos I made. The first video I made was like, I'm worried about Yelan. And I still am worried about Yelan. I'm worried about every single character that's yet to come out. I'm worried about Dendro. I'm worried about Sumeru. The only character I can say right now that I'm not worried about is the Dendro Archon. All right? Because I have proof that both Archons, all three Archons so far are instrumental to what they do, right? So going forward, Sumeru, the Dendro Archon, I would assume is going to be the pinnacle of what they do, the specialty, right? So I'm not too worried about that. I am worried about the dendro element, the dendro reaction, right? Hoyoverse dear traveler, dude, I saw your comment, dude. Yo, everybody, this Hoyoverse team person is so like on point. They're like fully in character, and I love it. All right, I love it. I mean, unless they're the real deal. But like, really enjoy the latest on the talk. I've influenced my community. Keep it up. So what I'm saying is, so let's go to the first video, right? If you guys have anything to say, just at me in chat, right? If you guys know how to, like, don't at me for every comment, but just if you have anything to add to what I'm saying, just use at EroticWalruss, and I'll see it pop up. It's highlighted, and I'll try to get to it. But so just feel free to chime in whenever you guys want. I want this to be like an open space. If you have something, it doesn't matter if you agree with me, you disagree with me. Let's talk about it, right? Because that's what this is all about. So I talked about my concerns for Yelan. And some people in the comment section of that video, which I do agree with, they said, Walrus, I feel like this is a bigger problem with the, like, generally for Genshin Impact as opposed to just Yelan herself. But right now, Yelan is the most relevant topic, right? So that's why I'm talking about Yelan, because she's literally coming up in a couple weeks, like a month. So I have to talk about her in this way, right? So I was addressing the concern that Hoyoverse is going to screw it up. Hoyoverse is going to mess it up. Or, like, I guess deliberately knock her down a couple of notches just to monetize the strength. And I've also seen people talk about this, like, well, isn't that the whole point? Right? Like, Walrus, have you forgotten we're playing a gacha game? Isn't that the whole point of, like, these big mega corporations to monetize power behind dupes, copies of the characters? And I get it, right? These people have been so whipped to shape by these gacha companies over the years that they are saying, hey, it's fine, right? This is how it's always been, how it's always going to be. So we should just adapt to this and be okay. Well, I would completely 100% agree with them if characters like Raiden didn't exist, Ayaka didn't exist, Zhongli never got buffed, Ganyu doesn't exist, Hu Tao doesn't exist, right? If any of these characters didn't exist and they all feel like Yaimiko, or they all feel like Ito, Yoimiya, these characters, or Ayato, right? Then I get it. But I'm just saying, every once in a while, a character comes out and they are head and shoulders above the rest. And it's not like there's a timer for it. It just happens. So, let's read some of the comments. Cliff says, this isn't relevant, but your haircut looks good. Thank you. I remember the time to add him. Please don't. I'm Jay says, is it still possible to get at least a satisfactory character release? So far, I've lost interest in polling for the new generations. Okay, so let's talk about the I'm Jay comment. Is it still possible to get at least a satisfactory character release? Of course, right? And people, here's the thing. Here's another small tangent I want to go on. Like, people are so black and white. If you go read any, like, it doesn't even have to be my video. Any video that has any opinion, people are so black and white. It's like, for me, like in the case of this, right? People are thinking that I'm saying Yelan is either completely trash, dirt, useless, or she is god tier, amazing, must pull, like, sell your house. But I'm really saying she's gonna be mid. I said it in the video, right? But, like, people literally, they don't have this. They don't see this. They just see it's either utter garbage or the blessings from the heavens. That is it. There's no in between. It's black and white, right? Walrus, you're either a white knight or you're a freaking doom poster. And the funny thing is, two different content creators who watches my content will have two completely different viewpoints about me for the same video. There will be content creators in the videos that like, dude, you're such a white knight, and another content creator says, dude, you're such a doom poster. It's like the middle doesn't exist, right? We need to start understanding that there's a middle ground. The truth is always somewhere in between. Why do people like, and these people are full grown adults, I'm assuming. Like, why do people not understand this? Like, the truth is always, unless they actively don't want the truth. To answer the question, of course we can still get a satisfactory character. Yelan is going to be a satisfactory character at the very least, right? It's the same concept I've talked about with Ayato. You can't really mess up Hydro characters. But my concern with Yelan is different from my stance with Ayato. Ayato was coming out at a time where there were still roles and niches to be filled in the Hydro space, right? A more dedicated, on-field DPS character was needed. Ayato sort of filled that niche, right? Whether you want to say he's the best, of course, that's debatable. Actually, no, not really. That's not debatable. He's not the best, but he filled a certain niche. Whereas Yelan's coming in, either she like is an upgraded Xingqiu, or Hoyoverse has to completely reinvent a new, thing. Like I said in the video, the example I give is like, oh, like what if Yelan summons Hydro spirits to fight on your behalf, or like fight alongside you, right? Like Oz, but Hydro. Like, sure, wow, amazing. But it doesn't mean she's trash if she's not going to be able to, blow everything out of the water. She is going to be a good character, I feel. Hydro characters are some of the best ones in the game when it comes to value. They're amazing, right? But my concern is that Hoyoverse is going to find a way to take something really good and actively shed them down to a point where they feel barely adequate. Like, okay, she's all right. She's K. That's my concern. Because am I the only one here who wants characters to be somewhat, substantial? I'm not here wanting to get 10 Yaimikos back to 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 back. And that's not to take a fat dump on Yaimiko. I'm just saying, like, she is quite underwhelming in comparison to some of the other character releases. So that's gonna be that. That's what I think, right? Techie the Virus, welcome, my friend. Always nice to have you here, because Techie is one of the people here that oftentimes would disagree with me, but he's very good at like generating conversation. So Techie, welcome. EroticWalruss says people need to have minimum criteria: able to clear biz, able to be unique. Expecting anything else is asking too much. I can agree with you to a certain degree. It's because like you want the game to remain exciting, right? So, and here's the thing, that why I put so much emphasis on this is because Hoyoverse said themselves that the characters in this game is part of the content that they release. Like, it's part of the major content that they release. So Techie, if they make such bold statements as like, okay, we want to brand our characters as like a major portion of content, right, with our game. And remember, most games, I find that characters are the tools you use to, or the vessels you can embody to experience the content. Well, yes, they're always a part of the content. Always, like, no matter how insignificant, characters are always a part of the content. But Hoyoverse has specifically said they want their characters to take up a major part of their content, which means they're literally selling the characters. And that is proof with how they plan all the content around the characters, right? New world bosses, new weekly bosses, like the new areas and zones give like special materials that you gotta go and pick up just to level up your characters. So yeah, characters is a huge part of the content. So when they make these characters repetitive and uninteresting in certain ways, does it really matter that you can clear or you can't clear? Like, they all can clear, right? Like, that's not what we're focused on anymore. We're focused on justifying our purchase or spending resources on a character that feels inadequate or feels very average, right? Like, why do people in the real world hunt for deals? Like, why do they go crazy for sales? It's because of value. What you put in, what you are exchanging for with what you have, you want this imbalance to like ever shift in your favor, right? That's like, and we can't blame people for wanting that. People just want to get the most value out of what they have. That is human nature, and it's all around us. So why is it wrong for us to want to get more value out of what we have in Genshin? I don't think people are wrong in this, in asking for more value, right? That's what I think. Anderson Gomes says, mid is bad. We want a character that is OP to use or meme enough to have some quality content like Clearing Abyss with Amber. Yes, I agree with that. Although mid, you see, this is like, I maybe don't fully agree with it, but I agree with what like the general gist of it. Mid is not bad. Mid is mid, right? But I understand what you mean. To the community, mid is in a way to some people unacceptable because there are some 4 stars that are mid. Right? If you're releasing a 5-star and they perform at the level of a 4-star while having the price tag, it's like releasing an iPhone. Let's say iPhone 14 comes out and iPhone 14 has the exact same stats and internals and whatever as iPhone 13, but iPhone 14 is like double the price or something like that, right? Because how much is a 4-star in comparison to a 5-star? I know it's RNG, but like average, like I'm willing to bet it's a 5-star in Genshin is far more expensive. Just think about it like this, right? Like what if iPhone 14 comes out and it's literally performance wise, it's the same as the iPhone 13 or the same as the iPhone 12 or God forbid, same as the iPhone 10 or 8, and they're charging you the premium price. Like, hey, try the iPhone 14, right? Is that okay? Is that acceptable? Right? So, I get it's not the perfect example, but it's kind of like if two characters perform very similarly and yeah, you know, like is it justified to say like, oh, I'm gonna charge you way more for this one when you can pay less for this one, but that one has golden embroidery on it or something like that, right? Some with a fancy visuals or something. Hey, you pay for the boobies, you're paying for the armpit. Kind of defeats the purpose, right? Of my previous point, when people want to get more value out of what they're spending. Performance is what people were after. Virus's characters cannot change the power scaling anymore. That era has passed and they will just fill me niches. Whoever's plans to create niches. I agree. They want to create niches. They want to create more interesting and diverse ways to play the game or interact with the game with certain characters. They want to give you 1,000 different ways to hit 1 million damage. Right? I get it. But we have to understand that people, once they hit 1 million damage, does it really matter who you use to hit 1 million damage? Maybe to some it does. But there's a huge chunk of people playing this game most likely will feel satisfied with what they have. There is no need or demand for doing it with another character, right? This isn't like Pokemon. Like, oh, I beat the game with Charmander. Now let's try Squirtle. Let's try Bulbasaur. It's not the same thing. And in those cases, I guess like you get the game and then you can play however many times you want with however many different ways with different characters. But Genshin, hey, $100-something worth of Primo Gems. Right? So AMV Bro says they nerf characters and make the constellations add or fix their kits instead of a satisfying C0 character that does more damage with constellations. Yeah, so the thing Hoyoverse recently have realized is that locking utility or behind constellations is a much better way to get people to pull for constellations as opposed to just locking damage. Because locking damage behind it, like, it has to be substantial, like Raiden Shogun. That's insane value. Like unlocking an additional like 40% damage or something like that at C2, it's it's not something they can do very often. It gets old really quickly. So what they do instead is they lock, let's say they make a character's burst cost 80, 90, and then C1 or C2, they find a way to reduce that down to like somehow 60 or 65, right? Or they somehow reduce the CD of a long cooldown on the burst skill and have you have better uptime for a very important skill, or that's very centric to a character's kit, and also maybe even like team support, buffing, whatever, right? That's how they get you. That's how they find ways to get you. Or for even 4-star characters, they lock it behind C4. For characters like Goro, C4 was pretty nice to have, as most of the time you're shielded, so you won't take damage. But if you are, then you can have some bit of healing to kind of compensate the damage that you take. It's just these little things, and then of course C6, 4-stars, some of them are just game changers, like Sarah. Locking all this stuff behind lower constellations and power at C6 is the new game. It's the new meta, right? It's what HoYoverse figured out. Like, hey, let's make the characters a little more difficult to use. Let's make them kind of feel even at times clunky at C0, but the damage potential is there if you get a 5-star weapon or something like that. But then at C1, C2, let's start, unlocking some of that potential, the utility and all that. And then at C6, you get this completely revolutionized character that plays like a well-oiled machine and makes you wonder, like, was this what they had envisioned for the character from the get-go, and they kind of just took things away from them until they were like a skeleton of what they are. And that's, I think, a lot of what people are starting to pick up on. Like, players aren't stupid. I think a lot of content creators treat their audience like dumbasses, and HoYoverse treats us, in the most part, like we're children. But players aren't stupid, and I've been saying this for the longest time. Like, we can see exactly what's going on with how they're designing these characters, how they're making changes to constellations, both for 4-stars and 5-stars, to incentivize lower constellations now. Like C1, C2 is better, right? Maybe you have to save up 2-3 patches worth of Primo Gems to get one character at an optimal efficiency, which is what a lot of the frustrations are stemming from, I feel. Right? So Tech the Virus says, once you 36-star Abyss, you look for unique ways to do it next. Hence, HoYoverse turn to making unique characters. Check and check. Well, the thing is, how many people, once you 36-star the Abyss, really care about, like full throttle? Because 36-star in the Abyss, for the most part of people, requires like many hours of attempts and grinding and resets and stuff, like for like 300 Primo Gems per floor, right? So do people really go out of their ways to challenge the Abyss in creative and different ways? Like I don't know. For me, I don't, right? I go in with my teams, my stronger teams, I just clear it, get the gems, I'm out. It's very rare that I indulge in the process of finding new ways to beat the Abyss, because your resources are finite. You don't have like a Giga Whale's amount of resin to retry with different characters and 4-star supports at, like, let's say you have a C4 Xiangling. How many more C4 4-stars do you have to be able to get that level of power to try different variations? I don't know. It depends on the player and their account, right? Check Discord. Let's see what's up with Discord. Oh, promise last week I got COVID the day live. Oh, Moonlight, don't worry about it. I hope you're feeling better. If you're feeling tired, or if you're feeling under the weather, don't worry about it. I got my eye on chat right now, so hopefully things don't go out of hand. But if you're feeling tired, go take a break. It's fine. Have I seen the new banners? Yes, I have. We're gonna talk about that at the very end. We're gonna make a video here together at the very end of the stream. I don't know what HoYoVerse is thinking, man. I really don't know what they're trying to pull here. But maybe they're just that confident that when a character is good, they don't need to sell you on the character, right? Everybody knows they're good. Everybody has their eyes on them. So like they do this with Yae Miko. They knew Yae Miko was a popular character. They didn't give a crap about how she performed. She can perform like doo-doo. They know she's gonna sell like hotcakes. That's what pisses me off sometimes about them, because they actively take a character's popularity and use it and weaponizes it against the community. Pretty shady. Techie, the virus's Abyss Clear 36 star is an ego thing. Completion is not for the primos, it's an achievement. Hardest one in the game. That's why people try to get stronger units or meta. I agree with that. Yeah, I think there's a lot of... I think nowadays, although I don't take pride in it at all, I know some people who really cares about that. Like, and if you... Like, for example, if somebody don't have 36 stars, immediately... They're called bad, right, by a portion of the community, because they will gauge a person's competence based on whether they can 36 star the Abyss. I get it. It's very egotistical, right? This phenomenon of I can spend $50,000 on this game and clear the most difficult content in the game and feel a sense of satisfaction or euphoria from the fact that but while disregarding the fact that I've just spent X amount of money on completing an arbitrary task that's set out by a company that's sole purpose here is to sell you a fantasy. So it baffles me, actually, why some people would go out of their ways to, achieve these kind of arbitrary goals set out by the game. You can enjoy it to a certain degree, but you should never let yourself become consumed by this idea that 36 stars is somehow worth 36 stars somehow makes you a more competent person, regardless of Genshin. Right? It doesn't make any sense. I've done it many times. It doesn't feel any better. It doesn't feel any more satisfying. It just highlights the fact that I'm running on this hamster wheel that is designed by HoYoVerse to keep me kind of like shackled to their game in a way, which I feel like I'm much more shackled to other aspects of Genshin. I think in a way I'm addicted to having conversations with people like yourself, Techie, that about a common interest. Does that make sense? Like, I hope this makes sense. I find this process of playing Genshin much more enjoyable. Like, experience the game just so I can talk about it with other people who've also experienced the game, and we can talk about both our similarities and differences. I think I'm much more addicted to that. The fact that there's a community here who's willing to sit and talk about these issues or share excitement about upcoming content. That's what I think is valuable. Lalou says, but you're a whale. I am a whale, but I'm a very small whale. I'm like a tiny whale in comparison. There are people who have spent 10 times the amount that I have, and there's plenty of them. Just content creators, I think there's like 5, big and small, that I know of. I don't watch like almost any I watch Soul of an Artist. I watch some Braxophone, Tectone here and there, Mtash whenever he gets upset about the game and complains. That's pretty much it. Who else do I watch in the space? That's pretty much it, right? Gratistatus, I watch Gratistatus. So it's insane, like how people can go around, and I don't have any gripes with people who feel proud. Like, hey, wait, I watch Flowcat. Yeah, Flowcat. I don't have any gripes with people who walks around proud, like giving high fives to people, be like, hey, congrats on clearing 36 stars. I knew you can do it. Good job, good job. What team did you use, right? And then we talk about that. But I have a problem when people go around, saying like, oh, you didn't clear 36 stars. The best I did, it was easy, right? Like they go around like somehow feeling superior just because they cleared 30, like floor 12, 36 stars. Like get the hell out of here. Like nobody, like, you can take your ego and shove it up your ass. Nobody cares. Literally nobody cares. You can bet in a couple years from now, you can go out onto the streets and be like, hey, I 36 starred, or you can talk to the same people. Like, hey, remember when we 36 starred the Spiral Abyss like 2 years ago? That was cool, right? Like, no, nobody cares. No, that's not cool. Like, it's irrelevant. Like, it's so in the moment. They're chasing something that's like so arbitrary. Techie the Virus says TC needs to stop comparing units which are both good, like Child vs Ayato. Too many RNG variables like artifacts, which can make either better than the other. I think, okay, here, that's a good point, but like I agree with that. But at the same time, I think people also misunderstand me when I say like, oh, like people out here be snitching on themselves. Like my last video, right? I was saying people are snitching on themselves because we scream how OP Yelan is and like make videos and everybody shares this and stuff like that. And people are like, oh, like, you hate theory crafters, right? You hate theory crafters. Like, I don't find theory crafters, and in the video, I even said, I understand it takes a lot of work and research, and it's actual good content, right? But I'm just saying, it's a double-edged sword. There are people who are in denial saying, well, I don't think Hoyoverse looks at any of our content. I don't think Hoyoverse actually cares about community feedback in how I highlighted yesterday, but they don't say they can't prove like why. Like, but at the same, like, oh, Walrus, can you prove it? It's like, I mean, just look at the characters that's been released. It's almost like every time we highlight something amazing about the character, it just gets nerfed. Bam, done, gone, next. And then the next thing we highlight, right, or we hype up, get excited for, bam, done, next. It's just over and over and over and over again. And then the characters we don't really care about, or we don't really, specifically hype up for their kits, right? Usually they're fine. And I'm not saying like it happens every single time, because of course there are times when things overlap, right? The community is truthfully saying, okay, this character is pretty good, pretty mid, pretty balanced. And then Hoyoverse like, okay, that's pretty good, pretty mid, pretty balanced. Let's release it like that. And then that's that. So there are times when this isn't as apparent. But just like what I was saying earlier, it's not just black and white. There's always a gray part. I wholeheartedly believe that Hoyoverse has an eye on different communities. It doesn't matter if you're from the Spanish community, the JP community, the CN community, the EN community. Like, Hoyoverse has their eyes on most people for the most part, right? I'm just telling you this. I've had times, like, this was back when I was like 4,000 subscribers. This actually happened. No kidding. I uploaded a video and the thumbnail. Listen, I was 4,000 subscribers. The video thumbnail, instead of the character with their normal art, I uploaded the character with their splash art. I remember this. It was for Yoimiya or something. No, was it? It was like, it was for one of the characters that was released, and I uploaded their splash art. I kid you not, within 2 hours of me uploading my video, I received a DM from the community manager telling me, Walrus, you're not allowed to use the splash art for the thumbnails. You have to take that down and use the one without the splash art. You can use the character, but you can't have their full splash art. Like, you know, when you guys summon the character, the splash art along with like the background, they're like the background has to be deleted, but you can keep the character. Within 2 hours of me uploading my video, somebody from the community manager team is like, "Hey, Walrus, gotta change your thumbnail. You can't have the splash art." So tell me again, because that's a leak. That's against that, because I'm leaking the splash art to my audience. So I'm not allowed to. I can show you the character, but I can't show you the splash art. Absolutely spooked me the fuck out. Right? I that was the first time I guess I violated their rules. They have their eyes on the general community. It was from the community manager of basically content creators in the West here, in EN. So you guys want to keep believing the fact that we're all like, HoYoverse has nothing. Like, listen, we're talking about a company that tracks how many mints has been picked up ever. Like, really? Like, they have data. They probably have data on how many times Ganyu players have missed their charge attacks. I'm not even kidding you. Like, you guys don't think they have their eye on you. Like, that's some, hey, that's some crazy talk. Just saying. Like, and I'm just going down the list here, right? And there were also people saying, oh my goodness, what was it? I had it in my head just now. People were like refuting. They're so in disbelief. They were saying, what were they saying? It was in the comments. I can't remember, but like they said so many things, and it just, most of them felt like they're not really thinking about HoYoverse like a mega corporation. They're thinking HoYoverse is their freaking like math teacher from middle school, right? Like, HoYoverse is like the scope, the amount of power they have right now and influence, of course, over the entirety of the creator space is no joke. It's people keep thinking like HoYoverse is this like dumb boomer that has a reaction speed of a freaking like overseas 3G satellite dish. Like, but I'm telling you guys, like, they are watching. They know what's going on, and they just choose to, oh, it's the leaks. I got it. They're saying like, okay, Walrus, if they are watching, then why don't they do something about all the leakers, right? Why don't they take down the leakers? But literally in the video I was saying, HoYoverse has found a way to coexist with the leakers. But at the same time, HoYoverse still needs to make an example and say like, hey, you know, like, all right, don't get too out of hand. This is like common business practice. How do people, like, dude, are like, I swear, most people who argue against this point are like people who learns their life lessons from anime. It's like, you know, righteous datebayo, right? Like, you know, it's only good and sunshine in the world. They don't understand how most businesses function with some sort of like under table deals, right? You open one eye, you close one eye. There's a saying in Chinese like 睁一只眼闭一只眼, meaning like you open one eye, you see what they're doing, and then like you choose to close the eye as like the other eye and be like, okay, you can, I'll let you do that, but like don't overdo it. Don't push your luck. Is what I'm saying. HoYoverse will let some content creators discuss leaks, share leaks, right? Get the community excited. It works as long as you don't go overboard. This, back to the same example, black and white. If you want to be successful in life, people, learn to function in the gray area. All right? Don't be white, or don't be, oh my god. Okay, people are gonna take this out of context. What I'm saying is, don't take your opinion and just go in one extreme. Always find the gray. I'm not saying don't be white. Jesus Christ. Okay. Listen. Hey, listen. You guys knew what I was saying. Context. Silence. 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 Don't take your opinions and go to the extreme with them, right? Learn to function within the gray area. You don't have to be gray, all right? You can be morally as justified as you can. Like, don't never compromise your morality. But I'm saying, keep an eye out for the gray areas. Keep an eye out and understand that most businesses and society functions in the gray area. For example, right? You're at work. You just had a kid, let's say, and you ask your coworkers, "Oh, look at, like, I just had a kid. What do you think of them?" If you are like this datebayo, like there's only good in the world, don't lie, you would say, baby kind of looks ugly, man. Like, not gonna lie, looks kind of ugly. But if you're a freaking smart individual and you function within the gray area, sure, the baby might look like a freaking camel's vomit, but you'll say like, "Hey, looks cute, man. Oh, looks like you, kind of little, like the nose. Oh my goodness, what a cute little baby," right? Learn to be freaking gray, people. All right? Don't be like this. Don't always sit on a moral high ground. So back to the point. We kind of went on a tangent. Back to the point is with the leaks, right? People are like, then why doesn't HoYoverse just take down every single leaker? And there are some people's videos that get taken down and others don't. Like, oh, like what's going on here? Like, that's because HoYoverse once in a while makes some noise, right? Still prove a point. Hey, don't get out of hand, or else you might end up like that guy. But at the same time, they'll let you like, okay, but keep driving up some hype. Keep getting people excited. What's wrong about that? That's just business 101, right? It's business 101. There's maybe some favoritism going on in there. Maybe the people that they ban, when they don't talk about leaks, they talk about how shitty of a company HoYoverse is. Bye, right? The second, like, that's such a Chinese thing. Jason, yes, Jason Leon, you get it, right? Literally. Okay. Go. Like, do you guys know the conviction rate of a crime in China is like over 90%? What that means is, when you are standing in trial for a crime, there's a 90% chance that you're guilty. Okay? And this is like facts. It's because there's dirt on everybody. All right? It's like, you might think you're the most upright, like, model citizen in the world. They'll find some way to put some dirt on you and commit. Like, this is getting too political, but what I'm saying is, why don't they just lock everybody up? Right? Why don't they just get everybody? It's because they're actively letting you go. They're letting you, break some rules here and there because you're not detriment to their overall progression, their plan, right? So stop this naive thinking. Like, people need to stop this naive way of thinking, being like, oh, well, if leaking is wrong, they can ban all the leakers. Why would they? Why would they? Why? How does that benefit anybody? Right? Leakers, theory crafters, have cultivated a very mature and an active community in which they get excited about the next patch through, like, the only reason some people haven't quit this game is to look forward to next patch. Literally. Watch, when patch 2.7 comes out, the same people will be talking about patch 0.8. Right? That's what they live for. Is there something wrong with that? No. Why would you stomp that out? HoYoverse is not stupid. Why go out of your way to stomp out an entire community of your player base? It's stupid. No, they should not do that. Why? Like, that's like that's like committing genocide in a way. You're just stomping them out. No, right? So I think HoYoverse fully understands how important it is to keep this group of people, because one of the only ways to keep them around is to let the leaks thrive, but not too much, not excessively, right? Don't let it bleed and ruin the fun for everyone else. Have you guys realized that people are complaining about leaks less is because Hoyoverse, in a way, right, I feel like is also monitoring like how big it gets. Maybe when they come in with the ban hammer for a couple of the leaks, it's like, okay, there's too many leakers now. When there are too many, they actively shut down the herd a little bit more, right? Copy strike this, copy strike that, put a strike on your channel, right? Kind of give you a little spanking a little bit. So in a way, the leakers that are able to consistently post leaks are the early birds, right? They are like the grandfathers of leaking. And they have a huge following. So Hoyoverse is like, okay, they have a huge following. Let them keep doing their thing. We'll let them keep doing their thing because we're both benefiting from it. But like maybe a new channel that just come up with like really not that many audience, Hoyoverse is like, too many people, right? All the spots are taken right now. Maybe next time, bam, copy strike, gone. So now they've kind of herded everybody into a couple select communities where they can keep an active eye on them. That's why it's always the same leakers, right, that provides information to the people, to the community. And then the theory crafters come in, take the information, process it, analyze it, give people the conclusion, right, the evaluation, and that's how the community thrives. And I have no problems with that. Why do people gotta come in and say, oh, Walrus, you just want to see these people crash and burn? No, I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying, right? It's a double-edged sword for the most part. It's a double-edged sword in that, yeah, they're figuring things out a patch beforehand. But Hoyoverse is also running their beta tests and all that stuff. So Hoyoverse not only gets a response from the beta testers, they also actively make sure to take a look at what the community is saying with regards to the leaks. Because once again, we've already established they know we are looking at leaks because they've banned people who share leaks. How do they find the people who share leaks if they don't look at the like? It doesn't make sense. Of course they're looking at us, right? So then what ends up happening is they take the feedback from the theory crafters, from, you know, like, okay, maybe this is a little overdone. Okay, let's take a look at the numbers here. Okay, these people have like entire essays written out about how these characters function and the potential as they are right now. Okay, maybe that's a little too much, right? Maybe we're giving the player base a little too much at C0. Let's maybe tone that down a little bit. Let's see what the beta testers have to say about this. Okay, beta tester says this, and maybe let's make some adjustments and finalize. How do we get more money? How do we get more money is the question. Hoyoverse they are asking themselves this. They don't give a damn, for the most part, how because the design team at Hoyoverse is amazing. They find creative ways to make like characters just feel good, right? But they need to make money. How do they do that, right? It's a culmination of so many moving parts. It's so many moving parts that like it'll humble us at how complex all this could get. Right, the input. I'm oversimplifying this to such an extent that it's just it's crazy to me that people can point at this and just be like, just simple business, easy. It's not though. It's Hoyoverse constantly evolving and improving how they market, how they design, how they monetize one of the most important assets they have in the game, their characters and constellations, right? Shukai says, gotta go now, enjoy the stream. Shukai, thank you for tuning in. I wasn't able to get a hold of Flowcat, and neither with Sanzu. So maybe we'll host like a discussion based one next time. So Jay says, this is sounding like something like an intelligence agency would do. But in a way, all these companies are an intelligence agency. Go look at Apple. Can you convince me that Apple doesn't have an intelligent sector, like to make sure well, I guess they don't call it the intelligent agency. They call it the lawyer department, right? The law department. the department that like Disney has it. Like when a company gets to a certain, because at at that scale, they have to be really careful what they allow the public to share and spread. Right? Have you guys not heard about there was this guy who was working on the iPhone, was it the iPhone 6? And then he was working on it, and his daughter or something took a photo of it or something. He brought it home one day or something like that, and his daughter took this is online. His daughter took a photo of it and shared it on social media, and the dude lost his job because of it. Like, it's crazy how secretive these companies get at the highest level. Look at Disney. Like, you guys think it's just fun and games. For us, yeah, it's fun and games. It's just a freaking game. For these companies, it's their livelihood, right? It's their intellectual asset. So of course it sounds like it kind of sounds like an intelligent agency, because it kind of is. So Techie the virus says Yelan nerf was justified. It can affect rerun sales for Hydro units in future. Sales decisions not due to hype. So I did see some people say this, right? Like, you need to make sure characters are not overdone to make sure other characters, their reruns can still have value. Again, right, back to the things like saying it's about the gray area is where the truth really is. That's part of the truth, I feel like. That you need to make sure characters, especially characters that, like, there are so few of them, right? Hydro characters, there's so few of them. So you need to make sure that in the future, when Ayato comes back, when Kokomi comes back again, that there's still even a reason for people to consider pulling for them, right? And I agree with you. But to say that it's because of this, the hype is completely irrelevant, like, I don't think that's true. Because then we're going back to this black and white comparison again, right? Or they're saying this is true, therefore this cannot be true, when they don't really have that much correlation to begin with, right? Yes, having overpowered power creep characters can severely affect rerun sales, but at the same time, monitoring the community and what they say and see their feedbacks on a character when all this stuff is free. Why do they even want surveys, right? If they don't care about community feedback. Of course they care about community feedback. And when there are people in the community literally writing formal essays and research papers, type stuff about character performance in beta, why? Why on earth would they not at least examine that? These people essentially are trying to make a livelihood on character analysis. And they have credibility. They have tens of thousands of people following them. Some even have hundreds of thousands waiting for their research and stuff like that. Why? This is the kind of stuff HoYoverse have to pay most likely thousands to the tens of thousands per patch just to get a glimpse of what this type of data has to input. Why would they not look at it? I don't see any reason. And it's free. It's on the internet. Like, of course, there is influence to this, because there's so much value jam-packed in those research that these people do. And there's so many of them. So, of course, HoYoverse probably pays attention to some of the top dogs. Lelouch Lamperoux says there's no middle ground here. What the hell are they saying? Hoyo is scared to power creep a character that already got 3 runs because they want rerun sale. Well, here's the thing, right? Just like, I guess, think about it from a YouTuber's perspective. Don't you want to make a video, or don't you want to make a product that lasts a long time, has longevity, that you can, like, preferably last a lifetime or multiple lifetimes, right? Like, don't you just wish that were the case with all your products? So in a way, they're trying to stretch out the lifespan as long as they can. Sure, right now, if Klee comes back again, I doubt it's going to be, amazing. But the last time she came back, like, how much did she get? $7 million just on iOS? I'm not, like, you guys think I'm pulling this shit out of my ass. I did a video just a couple days ago talking about this. I saw the numbers. And that Klee rerun is the worst banner Out of all banner sales, slightly worse than Kokomi. Kokomi was like what, 7 point something million. Klee was like barely 7 million. But do you think 7 million is nothing? Like, is 7 million little? No. Like, I think people start to get numb with Hoyoverse. Like, sure, in comparison to like a billion or like hundreds of millions, 7 million is very little. But hey, $7 million just for iOS. That can pay for how many people's salary in Hoyoverse? How many? Huh? And remember, 7 million just on iOS. Just on iOS. Dollars. Dollars, not RMB, not Chinese currency, right? So it's dollars. How many employees, like, that's enough to straight up like develop a mobile game in of itself. It's crazy how much money that is, and that is literally the worst they've ever done. Ever. It's crazy. Jesus Christ. And this is the scale we're talking about. People, like, just think. People think 7 million is little now for a Hoyoverse sale. Like, what? 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 That's crazy to think about. That's how successful this company is. And they want all their characters to constantly be pulling in this type of ridiculous numbers per rerun. So of course they want to favor their business model here. Raiden banner money is absolutely stellar. It's like, it's so scary how much money they've managed to pull in from like just Raiden Shogun alone. Like, I think Raiden combined is like what is it 500 million just on iOS? I feel like Raiden herself is nearing a billion. Herself is nearing a billion. I might be wrong about this. Maybe no. Oh no. I'm wrong. It's like 30 something. No, I was thinking 300. No. Raiden herself has probably like reached 100 million, not a billion. I'm crazy. I'm crazy. Raiden herself most likely is nearing 100 million. Which is just crazy to even think about. It's just crazy to even fathom. Oh, god damn. Hoyoverse is so stinking rich. Oh, wait, what? Raiden's total revenue is 450. So I was right. Was it 300 million? Was it that much? See? Get humbled, right? Get humbled by the numbers. It's insane how well off Hoyoverse is. And their decisions to focus on rerun will only get them more money. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. 450 million total. God damn. What have we? This is the power of weeaboo money. This is the power of, this is weeb money. This is weeb money. Like, think about it, chat. It's no wonder companies are actively like going this route, right? It's no wonder companies try to monetize every little aspect of their game. Like when we say, you know, oh, games are becoming more like money hungry, or companies are becoming more money hungry. Well, yeah, you know, people have so much money to spend. It's crazy. It's crazy how much money this generates for these companies. I I can't I can't believe this didn't happen sooner. No, like really, you guys think I'm memeing here. I can't believe companies didn't go this hard earlier. It took them like more than a decade, right? It's like the internet kind of blew up, like the whole .com thing, like in the 2000s, but even before that, like 1990 something, you know, people introducing this stuff, and then it blew up, and it took them like a full decade and a half before like video game monetization got to like where it currently is. I'd be surprised. Like I'm surprised it took that long. EroticWalruss, how about Ayaka overhype? It didn't lead to her nerf. Things are very calculated from their marketing. But Ayaka was tuned, wasn't it? Like I remember specifically when I was watching her like way back in 2020 September, because she was in the original beta, right? So I remember people were saying things about her, and she had her burst skill had 3. Remember that, Techie? Her burst, like her, was it her C4? Is that her C4 or C2? Right? Like there used to be like 3 of them, and then they reduced it to just 1, and then they put it into the constellation. Yeah, it's now C2, right? Like that was all in the beta. They took her down a couple of pegs, and then they rebalanced her back up. When the second people said like, oh, she's trash, and then they kind of retuned her a little bit, give her a little more power here and there, and then they released her. And C0 Ayaka is a really good unit. She's better than most characters because of what her burst is capable of doing, right? And there are many people who have gripes with her, her utility and how she moves, her movement abilities, but we cannot deny that. Talking about when she was in beta, her dash was actually made better, right? Optimizing her stuff, like, and people still talk about how they hate Ayaka's dash. I know, like, they did some animation, like for example, they did some sort of like when you leave the dash, like how quick you can enter like combat mode, and how like you're more free. But like, look, back then, when I leave dash, it would take around a second before I can like jiggle my character. So they did optimize, you know, this kind of stuff. So look, the second we leave dash, I can almost immediately already control my character, which is good. These are great things to have. And Ayaka's hype, a lot of it was due to her popularity from the beta. Her, like, we were literally like orgasming from this. You guys remember this? Do you guys remember seeing this for the first time? Like, come on, let's like don't kid yourself now. You were you creamed when you first saw this, right? Like if you were like a samurai anime fan, you literally creamed in your pants when you saw this. Unless I'm alone in this one, right? Like when we first saw Ayaka's like attacks animations, like attack movements, like this is what we were like going crazy about. Like, holy smokes, like what is this animation? Smooth like butter, baby. And like how classy she was, right? During when she was released, her detailed numbers were not as scrutinized. I don't know when it happened. Was it Raiden Shogun? Was it Yoimiya? I think even when Kazuha was about to get released, like even theory crafters, they existed all the way back since the beginning of the game, but they never scrutinized characters to this degree. So Ayaka, in a way, was spared from the overhype because we weren't overhyping her numbers, right? Right? Like we weren't overhyping their numbers and their kits and stuff like that. We were like literally craigasming over like her animations and how smooth they were. And HoYoverse then went ahead and even ironed out some of the wrinkles with her other stuff, which is amazing. I think when like I don't want to sound like a boomer when it comes to Genshin, which like, oh, back in the day, right? But truly, back when it was patch 1, patch like 1.0 and era, it wasn't this complicated. It wasn't this, and in a way, maybe it's Hoyoverse back in the day trying to show the player base that, hey, you know, play our game. Your investments will be worthwhile. We're making amazing characters that are, you know, evergreen in the sense that they never fall off, right? Maybe that was the dream they were selling back then. And now that that dream has been fulfilled and they've got people exactly where they want them, they're going a different direction, right? They're going back on their words, kind of, not really, right? This is the beautiful thing about what Hoyoverse is doing. They never promised anything. They never once said, "Hey, we're never gonna give you up, never gonna let you," right? That's the beauty of it. Like, they didn't break any promises. It's the community. It's us who have grown either impatient or bored, I guess, in a way of keep getting the same things. And I think, Techie, you're right, which is, as long as all the new characters can still clear Abyss and they are unique and in a way fun to play to some people at the very least, are they not by all standards a great character? I can't argue with that. You're right. Right? By the definition, I mean, by the standard that Hoyoverse has set for us, that's a great character. But it gets repetitive, right? I mean, at what point do you stop making these essentially almost like copy paste? Like, in a way, it's repeating themselves, right? But I'm not, and once again, people keep saying like, "Oh, Walrus, and what's your point? What's your point? What are you asking for? Asking for power creep every character? You're asking for every single new character to power creep the last character?" No, I'm not. I'm saying once in a while, it's okay to give us a character that's standing head and shoulder above the rest. Once in a while, we can receive a character that one can say is power creep. Once in a while. And it's going to make people who pick up that character, which for this case, everyone, they're going to feel amazing, right? And the new people are going to come in and be like, "Oh my God, I really love this character. She's so amazing," or "He's so amazing. Where can I get them?" And it gives the community a sense of pride that we have this character that everybody, the new players, want, because we invested the time to play this game before these people came in. Like, feel proud that we made the right choice with our money. Like, the months of saving amounted to something. When now it's just like, oh, the next character comes out and nobody even talks about your character anymore. Nobody talks about the thing that was so crazy. Like, this is such a internet phenomenon, like a what's that called? Like, this is literally internet 101, right? Like, we all get excited for one thing, and then once the time, like, the next trend comes along, everybody jumps off and gets on the next hype train, and nobody even like really mentions this anymore. Like, how many more people are still releasing Ayato videos? Right? How many people are still like hyping Ayato, talking about, "Oh, Ayato is so amazing"? Literally a week or two after Ayato is released, nobody makes videos saying, "Amazing, like crazy DPS." Go look at the guys, like, "Oh, insane DPS, amazing DPS." Literally 2 days after he's released, like, everybody is chasing this fad, this like the next like hype thing, and now 2 weeks later, nobody's talking about him anymore. Because it's like dying down, right? It's not cool to talk about Ayato anymore. I still love the character, but, you know, even in my videos, I don't really talk about him because nobody wants to talk about him anymore. It's like, I would love to sit here and have this conversation with you guys, but most people are like, you know, not too interested in Ayato. And I don't blame you guys. I don't blame you guys. You're not interested, you're not interested, right? I'm not going to force you guys to sit here and talk about Ayato when we got Yelan here, who received apparently a nerf 2 days ago. Yeah, it's all about Yelan now. And guess what? Yelan comes out 2 weeks later. It's all going to be about Goo Goo Gaga. Like, who knows? And once again, people think I'm getting heated because I have a problem with this. I don't really have a problem with this. I'm just highlighting the absurdity of this. All right? And the whole like 1.5U versus the 1.0U thing, like this is the thing with it's like people, the same people that comes to my channel and says like, yo, Walrus, you're like literally milking content, and then they're like literally going around sharing people talking about 1.5U when literally their favorite content creators are doing the exact same thing, taking something and stretching it to the absolute limit just to talk about something in this game. And like here they are ridiculing me, saying like and then they go around and then they go consume. Like it's just, they have the content they want to consume and my content's not that, right? Or they disagree with me and they go out of their way to ridicule, but then at the same time they don't understand they're ridiculing their very favorite creator at the same time as well. It's absurd. Because this whole 1.5U thing, apparently it's not even like confirmed. It's literally like it could be a bug, it could be like what, like we don't know. Like we don't know what the hell it is. It's something that existed and it doesn't exist anymore. So who's the dumbass now? It's like, if these people stopped even for like a couple minutes, take a couple deep breaths and think, they will start to realize like, hey, wait a minute. Oh, they get woke real fast. It's absurd because I honestly can say right now, like, there's probably only a handful of people in Genshin Impact who makes like unique content. Everyone else is either just here for their community to talk, like converse, like my content, commentary, right? Some people can say lazy content, because guess what? Nobody has the time to sit here and spend like 15 hours to edit one video. Like not everybody has that life, right? So of course you have to build your content around what you're comfortable with. So be it. It's lazy, it's like boring to some people, then it's lazy and boring. But to pretend like not literally everyone is in the same boat is just it's just you're lying to yourself. Like every Genshin creator is running dry on content. Right? It's just some really talented and smart and unique content creators are able to take this and elevate it, make it interesting, make interesting out of the mundane. And some of them have a lot of subscribers and viewership, well deserved. There are other people like myself who just sit here, turn on the camera, you know, get Ayato to stand in a nice little center position, and I start talking. Right, the thoughts that I've been thinking about throughout the day, maybe even in the past day, some shower thoughts, they all just come pouring out. Is it lazy? Sure, it could be. I would say it's very comfort. It's very easy for me to make that content. I enjoy it as well. Not only is it easy, but I enjoy it, and somehow that's a sin. Somehow doing things that you find enjoyable is a sin, right? Like, oh no, like that's lazy. You're not like oh, I'm sorry. Like talking about the game that I play is lazy to you. I'm sorry. And oh, I'm even more sorry that hundreds, if not thousands of people care about what I have to say. I'm sorry. Hey, that's my fault, right? That's somehow my fault. And the thing that gets me the most are people who comment shit like, I don't understand how this person can get so many views just doing this. No, actually, chat, explain to me. How can I, someone who makes like the laziest, right, according to these people, the laziest content, how can I get views just doing this? I don't know. Right? Like, oh, like, they're asking me? Oh, like I'm supposed to know, right? Because I'm literally sitting here talking about the game that I like, the concerns that I have, the excitement that I have, and enough people care, so I keep doing it. That's literally what I'm doing, right? It's not like I have a freaking giga plan of how I'm gonna, like, dude, nobody has time for that shit, right? It's tiring to think about the numbers, the stats, the whatever. Open the camera, say what I want to say, slap some music on it, slap my outro on it, cut out the awkward bits and the bits I go off on a tangent and ramble, post the video. If people like it, they like it. They don't like it, they don't like it. I love to see the comments. I respond to the comments and be like, okay, so that's what other people think. Okay, and it puts my thoughts into context, right? Because how many times have you guys thought of something and be like, oh, damn, I wonder what other people think about this? Have you guys never had that? Like, I'm sure everybody here has that, right? Like, you think something comes to mind, like, oh, I wonder what other people think about. Like, I wonder what other people's opinion on this subject matter is. And I just have the privilege to have people respond to my opinions. That's it. That's like the best way I can summarize what this whole relationship between my community and myself is. Maybe one day people stop caring about Genshin, stop caring about all this stuff, views are going to die down. Maybe one day people care more about Genshin, views are going to go up. Views, I think, in a way, it's to highlight how many people have interest in what you have to either say or do or to present, right? That's pretty much what it is. You're either saying something, you're showing something, or you're reacting to something. I guess in this day and age. So to those people, I guess, yeah, like Fez OSC is like, they cannot fathom how people even want to watch someone as, in their perspective, as detestable as me, right? As detestable, like, I'm known in a lot of communities, and this is like other creators, right? And like, I don't know if they're bigger or smaller than me, but I know they're sizable creators with their own followings. There are specific content creators out there who have communities who actively don't like me, right? They don't like every time I say something, they don't like it. So, but mathematically speaking, if an individual hates my content, there is an X percentage chance they enjoy someone else's content. And I guess that's how a lot of people carve out their own space in the community, literally by being opposing, by being different to other people, for example, which is fine. There are people like who watch my videos and they've disagreed with every single point I've had to say. Not once have they agreed with anything I've said. Which they have an entire community of people who are just like, who agree with them fully. And right, I can also question at the same time, like, well, how come they have such a big following? Oh, how do you have a following when blah 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 blah, right? It's like people will find who they enjoy, people will find who they resonate with, and that's a click, right? Nebulous77 says, the thing is, while they are shitting on your content, they are still viewing it. That's the beautiful thing, right? When I started my content creation journey here on YouTube, I made it my mission to make content that will have people disagree with it. Like, I actively go out of my way sometimes to say some things that I maybe don't 100% agree with, but just for the sake of having people share opposing ideas, I include them in my video, or in a better put, I leave them in my video, because I know that having, like, what drives emotion is oftentimes anger. That's not to say I go out of my way to piss them off, but I say things that I know people will disagree with, or people will have a strong reaction to. I guess in a way you can say it's baiting, like baiting them in, but I'm not doing it just to bait them in because I want to hear what the other side of this conversation sounds like. But it's not like I don't believe what I say either, right? It's not like I don't believe it. I believe it, but maybe I wouldn't like, this is not the hill I'm gonna die on. I'm not like, there are some points that I say like, oh, okay, I can argue it to a certain degree, but then like once it reaches a certain point, like, yeah, you're right. I agree with you, but I leave it in there, right? Because it's thought provoking. Taking the virus says your content is thought provoking. Your content is thought provoking more than I can say for the groups out here on YouTube. Yeah, like I need to get people to start questioning things, right? I don't like it when people sit there and watch my video and just nod the whole way through. Because then you didn't watch a video. You literally just confirmed everything in your head. You believed everything I just said. You were just here to confirm your own belief. I like, as much as that's a great feeling, like, yes, I was right. But at the same time, I want to make it so that people at the very least start thinking like, okay, am I right? Okay, I'm right. So this person is wrong. Okay, I'm gonna say they're wrong. That's a good reaction, right? That's a good reaction, in my opinion. Because in the process of denying me, you have to affirm to yourself. Which is something that I feel like a lot of people lack. Self-affirmation, right? Because in the process of denying me, you just affirmed your own belief, which is good in a way. But at the same time, you know, there are idiots. There are idiots out there who have very like extreme beliefs, and they don't need anybody to affirm to their beliefs. They will deny everyone's, like anyone who is remotely different from them, they will deny it. Fashan says, your content often puts my mind in the shoes of Mihoyo and gets me thinking why they make the decisions that they make, for good or for bad. And I guess that's just because of what I do for a living, right? Because I'm a real estate agent. So I'm constantly out here thinking, okay, what do my clients want and need? Put myself in their shoes. What's their budget? Okay, they have this budget, they want this, so they're expecting a kid or whatever. And then I'm constantly putting my mind into overdrive, into understanding the needs and wants of other people, because that's the only way I can align myself with my clients to give them the best products, to take the money that they have and maximize it for them. And I live in Vancouver, British Columbia. You guys can go on Google, do a quick search. What's the average price for a home here? Right? Off the top of my head, it's like $1 million. Average. Like average home cost is like $1 million. So I'm constantly dealing with this number. Like, can you imagine people who have $1 million and like they've saved up, and usually it's not that much, right? It's like 35%. They have 35%. Average is like 1.6, but we're including all homes, not just like single family homes, right? It's insane how much money these people are pouring into homes here. So, and to some of them, that's all they've got. Like that's literally 80% of all they have, and they're putting it down on a house. Like you really want to make sure they get the most out of what they have, right? And that's not including the whole like back and forth bargaining process. So I guess in a way, that's forced me to think from the other perspective more than I think from my own. So 1 million for a small more than that, my friend. You can't get it for $1 million anymore for a small rancher. I think a small rancher nowadays like starts at 1.4. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. CL Blue 5 is asking, do you think Genshin player base would suffer in the long run because the game size will be massive? No. I think in the long run, they will come out with a way for people, kind of like what they're doing with the voice packs. They're gonna be able to install and uninstall certain patches of the game for people to make space. And of course, by the time Shiznaya come out, phones will just keep getting better, right? Shiznaya's coming out maybe like what 4 or 5 years from now. Like at the rate iPhones are increasing, like people are gonna have at least like 250 gigabyte phones. Storage is gonna be no problem, and I think Genshin, there's no way Genshin's gonna go above 100 gigabytes. Fingers crossed. So like at worst, Genshin takes up like 60% of your phone. Like if you want everything, right? At best, they let you uninstall some things, and maybe they're like, you know, 40 gigabytes, 50 gigabytes, maybe. So Fashan is asking how many acres. Okay, so now you're asking like very technical stuff, right? So here's what I can tell you, right? In try not to go too detailed, because I have to give a disclosure whenever I talk about real estate, because I gotta tell you guys, this is not professional advice. Like I'm actually obligated to tell you this before I say anything. So I'm just saying, right? This is not professional advice, but in certain areas where it's more sought after, like 1.5 acres, or even like around 1 acre, land can go for like, depending on the lot and the zoning of the lot, like 3 million plus is very easy. Like I'm talking like crappy like houses. People in chat, I don't know how many people understand how real estate work. It's not the house that has value. Houses, much like cars, depreciate in value every day. Like if you want to get that down to detail, every day they're depreciating. But the land, more often than not, is increasing. So I'm talking in some areas, like 1 acre of land with good zoning, right, in a good area, potential for development, like 1 acre for 3.5 to 5 million is like, that's easy. Like there will be, like, for example, like the lot of land I'm currently on right now, which I'm renting, like just like I know the owner very well, like probably 5 million. I'm like not even kidding you guys. Like 5 million is gonna be a tough ask, but like I'm sure I can sell it for 5 million. I can get that price for them. And of course they think like, nah, I'm good, I'll wait for 10. So hey, Fashan says I got 5 acres, but of course it depends on what type of zoning as well, right? So if you're zoned for agriculture, then 5 acres starts to be much less than if you're zoned for, like, you know, residential. Dude, if you have 5 acres of like residential or commercial lot, bro, that's a lot of C6 write-ins, I'm just saying. So of course depends on the zoning. Commission is usually between 5 to 6% there also. Not quite. It's like it's a little complicated, all right? So it's like you're talking the total commission between two. I'm getting too technical. You're talking about the total commission between both parties. In that case, oftentimes it's 7%. But it's calculated a little differently. Which I'm not going to disclose exactly how realtors calculate commission, but it's not as straightforward as like take X% of the sale price and that's how much money you get. No. It's not that good. It's not that good. A tiny meow says, anyways, gotta go for work. Happy streaming, Walrus. No problem. Let's see if we can do the account review. Wait, tiny meow, are you the small meow? I thought we were gonna do your account review at the end here. Are you the small meow? Uh-oh. I said to the person we're gonna do their account review here at the end here. Techie the Virus says, here in Florida, seller pays everything. Sag. Same here. Sellers pay for both parties, realtors. It's the selling realtor decides to write us like a commission split into the contract for the buying realtor. So as a selling realtor, for example, if I were to sell a house, I can literally say like $1 for the buying realtor. I can write that into the contract. Of course, nobody's then gonna take their clients to buy my listing, right? So usually it's like half and half. Usually, I think usually the selling realtor keeps a bit more. Like it's very minimal, like a couple thousand. I'm saying like a couple thousand, like it's nothing, but you know, in the sense of realtor and their commissions, usually it's not that much. Valorant says, I'm studying pharmacy and want to live in Canada. How pharmacies work there? Can you explain, please? So pharmaceuticals here actually make a really good living. I'm sure they have certain regulations that they have to abide by, so it's not like as easy. It's just usually I find these kind of jobs, the more troublesome thing about them are like how many restrictions they have and how many like legal like repercussions they like, how much problems they have with legal issues if they were to make like a small mistake, right? For me, if I were to write my contract and make a small mistake in a buy and selling contract, I am liable for up to like the entirety of the home, right? Like I can get sued by the buyers or the sellers or whatever for you know negligence, misconduct or whatever, and they can sue me for like millions. So it's like it's very scary. But talking about pharmaceutical, it's mostly just in pharmacies, right? So I'm not too like sure of how like a pharmacist and that stuff work, but like there's a ton of pharmaceutical and even some pharmaceutical companies where you need a license. Like, so I'm guessing if you're going to study pharmacy, you need a pharmaceutical license, and then you can be eligible for certain job positions that other people just cannot even compete with. Scully Gaming says, oh my god. Yeah, so like when I see Genshin like throwing out like $40,000 fines, I'm just like, whew. Like, whew, okay. not that bad, but like that's just because I literally walk on eggshells every single day walking on eggshells, right? So it's like I've sold homes that are worth like 3 million. I bought homes that are worth 3 million. I've dealt with homes which unfortunately I was unable to sell. I've dealt with homes that are worth upwards of $5-6 million. These are amazing homes. Crazy. Like, you mess up the sale process of one of those homes, like you bet, like most of the owners of these homes are very powerful people. Hey, spending a couple $100,000 on a lawyer just to get your ass is nothing to these people, right? So, and it's not like Genshin. It's not like Genshin, where it's like you got tens of hundreds of leakers at the same time shielding you, right? Like smoke, providing smoke screen for you. No, you're literally the only guy. You're like by yourself out there. So of course you're the one who signed the contract. You're the one who drafted it. So of course you're the one who's gonna have to bear responsibilities. Giga is saying North Van. Not North Van. No, I've never worked in North Van. I worked in West Vancouver and Vancouver West. So people might get confused. Wait, Walrus, what's the difference between West Vancouver and Vancouver West? Okay. West, they're two different places, believe it or not. West Vancouver, there's the water like up north, right? Once you pass the Lions Gate Bridge, that's Vancouver. That's West Vancouver. It's like it's the most prestigious area. Homes there can go up to like 12-15 million dollars. West Vancouver. Vancouver West is on the south side of the bridge, on the west side of the general Vancouver metropolitan area. That's Vancouver West Side. Richmond, yes, I've dealt with some pretty expensive homes in Richmond too. So that's the gist, right? That's the gist of this. I wish to have a Tim Hortons in the USA as well. All we have is crappy Dunkin'. Tim Hortons is so good. Like it's the value they have. Oh, amazing. I love it. Walrus, have you met Peter Chow, the YouTuber in Van? I used to watch his videos, right? I used to watch his videos. Like he's the guy wears the sunglasses and he kind of has this like persona, right? Where he's like he eats noodles and he talks in this accent. I think his YouTube channel is still around, but like he doesn't get as many views as he used to, which of course he can't do that stuff forever. But you know, I've seen some of his most recent videos and he's so mellow now and he's so like he's in shape, right? He's like slim and slender. Heno G is asking, how long have you been in real estate? How many years has it been? 1, 2, like 5, 6 years? 6 years? BitSplitter was no-brainer, but Unforged changed it all. Yes, let's talk about the new banner. Holy shit, this new banner is like... Ugh! Hoyoverse! Why? Why do you keep doing this, Hoyoverse? Like, they just can't let us have good things, right? Where is it? Is it in game? Maybe it's in game. Right, it's in game. Yo, hey, welcome to Genshin, baby. Welcome to Genshin. Okay. Okay. Let's make the let's make the video. All right, let's make the video. What should I put? Okay, I'll put my sponsorship here. Hey, by the way, people, check out nordVPN. If you enjoy my content, you know, check out nordVPN. See if it's the VPN for you. It's amazing. Personally, I've tried a couple different VPNs. Right, I've tried Express, I've tried Nord, I've tried like some off-brand ones as well. I've enjoyed Nord more than the other ones, and they did not pay me to say that. 100%, guarantee you. Can't lie to you guys about this. Nord did not pay me to say like, oh, they're the best. They just wanted me to, you know, promote it. But honestly, I've used Express and I've used Nord. Like they're close, but I prefer Nord. Let's talk about the banners here. Jesus Christ! Like and this, like, come on, man! Like, can you not? Oh my god! Wait. What's the current banner right now? Couldn't they have at least slapped Xingqiu in, like, I mean, if not Xingqiu, like, could they have at least, instead of like Sayu, why not Sucrose, right? Like instead of Razor, give us Xingqiu. Instead of Sayu, give us Sucrose. Why? Like, I don't get it. Why do they keep doing this? Yeah, it's just because he's popular. Yeah, we're gonna talk about this. All right, let's talk about this. All right. Sup flappers, welcome back to another video. So jumping aside from all the controversies and the hot takes, today I'm about to bring you guys something that most people can agree on, right? And that is the fact that HoYoVerse is out here straight scamming people. I don't know like what their plan here is with this banner, and we'll talk about the weapon banner later. Don't you worry about it. But is this some sort of like noob bait? Like what are they trying to do here with this banner, right? Let's be honest. Ayaka is an anticipated character. Many people had to skip Ayaka. Why? Say it with me, because Raiden Shogun was, right around her banner as well. So, HoYoVerse knows this is one of the better Inazuma characters. And I'm not counting Kazuha, because Kazuha was released in 1.6, so I'm counting everybody released starting from 2.0. Ayaka is probably the second best unit released since 2.0, and HoYoVerse is fully aware of that. And it's evident. I usually say there's one dud. Right? If you guys have followed my video, there's one dud on every single character banner. Well, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present to you 3 duds. Okay. If we strictly have to pick out one character out of the 3 who is, maybe slightly inferior, it's Razor, right? Sayu, overall, good character. Rosaria, overall, good character. I'm not saying they're all trash, but can you say Rosaria is the same as having a Bennett on the banner, having a Xingqiu on the banner, having a Sucrose on the banner, Xiangling on the banner? Are they the same thing? The equivalent? Equals? Go pull out any tier list. I don't care if like it's the most trash, like my tier list, like the most trash, hot take tier list. You will never find Rosaria in the same tier as any of the characters I've mentioned previously. All right. She's the best one on the banner. She's going to have the most utility. She's overall a good character. A one that fits her role very well. And if you're in EN, you get 2 skins when you pull for this character. So, memes aside though, this banner doesn't really lean into the strength of Ayaka. In some cases, we've had 5 characters. In some cases, we've had 5 stars come out where the 4 stars on the banner complement them extremely well. Whereas in this case, there is some synergy here, but like it just feels slightly, right, ever so slightly subpar in comparison to what we've had in the past, right? For the Ganyu rerun, what a splendid 4-star roster that went along with it. And then we have Ayaka here. What is this? I don't want to say it, but it just feels like HoYoVerse knows this is a very popular character, which most people have failed to pick up in the past due to conflicting banners, and the demand is there. They don't need to drive hype. They don't need to incentivize you. They don't need to give you a reason to pull on this banner. They know you want it. And damn, does the desire meter, the desire meters here are flashing red. People are only seeing Ayaka. And truth be told, I'm still going to recommend you pulling on this banner. Of course, it doesn't matter if you're free to play and you're low in resources. Ayaka is a very solid unit to pick up, well-rounded, both on-field, off-field. She has presence. Both for Ayaka, she has many different ways to pair. Yes, she is a almost Freeze exclusive unit, but Freeze right now is sitting in such a pretty place that I want to say that Ayaka will continue her dominance even into Sumeru, patch 3.0, and for the foreseeable future, depending on how Dendro Cryo reactions even work, could even make her better. But I don't think the you should be banking on Dendro Cryo because we already have something amazing currently right now, which is Freeze. Her damage scaling is out of this world, right? She's very easy to use. The only downside people would have with this character, for the most part, is her mobility, like how she moves around. The whole like turning into an ice thing. It might look cool, but let me tell you, if you're going down a rocky mountain, forget it. If even in your path there is a small pebble, forget it, right? You will get lodged onto that thing and you will feel like it's a black hole sucking you in. Like this character can only walk on properly civilized and paved pathways. And of course, she was born as a freaking high class Ojo-sama, all right? So you better not be making your Ayaka walk on some unpaved roads like some uncivilized monkey. Again, memes aside, yeah, her movement ability is kind of yikes for the most part. So if that's not your cup of tea, that could be a complete deal breaker for you for this character, because you're gonna absolutely hate using this character to move around the map. But I enjoyed her damage is some of the best the game has to currently offer. Amazing at C0, amazing with free-to-play weapons. What's not to like? All right, with that said, we have to talk about oh, it's like HoYoVerse is reading your mind, isn't it? Like you're just like sitting here praying like, HoYoVerse, please, any, like, you know what? I love Ayaka so much. I'll take any 5-star weapon. And then you look at this banner and you're like, anything but the Unforged. I just gotta say, all right, HoYoVerse right now understands the demand for Ayaka and the demand for a good sword. A crit damage sword. This is a really good weapon overall. Pretty universal, can run on many different characters. However, the Unforged should stay Unforged, right? Like this, like just keep it this way. I wish we can just forget about this weapon completely and just have it never ever come up ever again. But granted, I'm overdoing it a little bit. All right, this weapon does have its uses, although you rarely will ever see this weapon top of the list on any tier lists for weapons, even though it's a 5-star. It's a pretty good weapon overall for many different characters, but you know, it's hard to justify it at all. Like if you're gonna ask me, oh, what about the the Favonius Lance? No, it's not worth it. All right, it's not worth it. This 5-star is too yikes for the most part. It's too yikes. It's a good stat stick when it's good, right? But for the most part, it's just so mid. It feels so bad if you were to get this right now with the Elegy, right? Like the Elegy is a good bow. Granted, you don't need it, but nobody ever said Elegy was bad. It's just like it's something that feels quite excessive. Nobody really go like, oh, without the Elegy, this team comp doesn't work. I mean, for the most part, it's not like that. The Unforged is like it just. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, I'm trying my best here to not completely shit on this banner, but at the same time, I gotta make this very clear. This is not a banner for even small spenders to want to gamble with their Primo Gems. You're not gonna have a fun time if you end up losing the 50-50. Let's just put it that way. So, all in all, the character banner is still worth pulling. The weapon banner, like, avoid it like the plague. Just there's always next time, right? Maybe next time they're gonna put like a Staff of Homa. Yeah. Sorry about that. Maybe next time they're gonna put something better. But for now, just bite the bullet. Like Ayaka has some of the greatest free-to-play options out there. The what's the sword called? I'll maybe throw it up on screen. The Ama no Chikuku is like a 4-star weapon. It's crafted. It's a good weapon for her, right? Run that instead. It's available in the game. You don't need Miss Splitter Reforged. It's not like you're building a Raiden Shogun here. Right? Raiden Shogun, you would love to have her signature weapon, wouldn't you? Right? But then again, you also have the catch. Genshin is a game where free-to-play options are plenty, and oftentimes you won't really feel like you need a 5-star weapon. So forget about it. Go here. Just look at this. Unfortunate how we got Razor and Sayu. Not saying they're completely trash, but I'm just saying you would really wish to see like a Sucrose or a Xingqiu tier character or Bennett tier character as one of the 4-stars to get some value. But because Hoyoverse knows, yeah, you're dying over here to try and get Ayaka, so they're gonna they're gonna make sure that it's not too valuable. Of course, Kazuha coming soon, Yelan coming soon. But let's be honest, I think Ayaka is gonna be better than Yelan. Who am I kidding? I think Yelan might be a character that can work with Ayaka, being a Hydro character and all, right? So good luck with your summons. That's all I gotta say for this. I think Hoyoverse is really on top of their game when it comes to making tough decisions for the player base, and man, is this a tough one. So with that said, see you guys in the next one. Say bye, chat. Hi, chat. We'll continue here to talk about some stuff. But yeah, tune into the live stream if you guys want to tune into the live experience and whatnot. But till then, just stay safe. Peace, peace. Bye, bye. Oh, well then. This banner is a hell of a noob bait. But what can you do? If you want Ayaka, bite the bullet. Take the hit. Is your love so shallow? Right? Is that all you got? Is that all? You gotta go hard. You gotta drag your nuts over burning coal and spiky bamboo laced with salt. But I think Ayaka's worth it. Alright? I think Ayaka's worth it. Such a good C0 character. Like, this is the thing, right? Ayaka, Raiden. I don't know. Like, I think Ayaka at C0 just feels better than Raiden at C0. And I know people are gonna get upset immediately, like, Walrus, what you say? Hey, I agreed with what you've been saying, but don't bring C0 Raiden into this again. But I understand, all right? I understand, but I think Ayaka C0 just feels so good to use. I never once felt like, damn, I wish I had C1. Damn, I wish I had C2. No, never, not once. Raiden, not a single day went by where I didn't wish I had C2 for Raiden. Right? So like Ayaka, I feel like in a way is the most complete, well-rounded C0 unit in Inazuma. 100%. Granted, Kazuha exists, but like I said, I'm not including Kazuha. I'm not including Kazuha in this conversation. Kazuha is a 1.6 characters. Ever since 2.0, Ayaka has been the most complete C0 unit released to date. So good. I love it. I remember I failed getting her weapon the first time. Like, I lost my first 50-50, and I don't remember if that was back then the system for the pity has been released, but I went for it and I got it on the second try or something like that. What a good weapon. Really, really solid. Miss Splitter Reforged, gain a 12%. It's a freaking essay, but gain a 12% elemental damage bonus for all elemental and receive the might of the Miss. That's like level 1 to 3. The Miss Splitter emblem provides 8, 16, 28% elemental damage bonus for the characters. Like elemental damage, right? So good, so good. For the character's elemental type, the character will obtain 1 stack of Miss Splitter every time they use the following normal attacks, right? Elemental skill, and of course, casting burst. Oh, so good, so good. All right, this weapon, like straight up, you can get like a max stack so easily. But of course, I'm not here baiting you guys. I'm not here baiting you guys. This weapon, as amazing as it is not absolutely not worth risking getting the unforged or like an off banner for. Those primo gems could be spent so much better elsewhere. Oh yeah, the bow version is on her, right? Thundering Pulse. Isn't the lightning version what Raiden Shogun has? Engulfing lightning? So we're missing a catalyst version. Right? We're missing a catalyst version and what? What else? We got the bow, we got the sword, we got the spear. If we get a catalyst. Is that it? That's everything. Oh no, the claymore. We're missing the claymore version of it. Yeah. Kagura's. Oh, yeah. So we're literally missing the claymore one. Yeah, we're just missing the claymore one. Yeah. We got the. Yeah. Varka for new Reforged. Maybe. Is Varka going to be Electro? Then again, you don't have to be an Electro character to have that purple theme on it, right? So, who knows? Exciting stuff. Watch Scaramouche be a Claymore Electro, dude. Imagine if Scaramouche comes out. He's not only is he a Claymore Electro, he's also a healer. Yeah. Theory crafters are gonna have a field day with that one. Chris is asking, say if somebody was a Noel main, would the Geo Claymore be better than the Red Horn Claymore? At the top of my head, I want to say the Geo Claymore would overall make the character feel better to play, but I don't know if damage wise you're gonna get more. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, how much is this Claymore? This Claymore gives a crap ton of crit damage. Look at that at level 80. I think you can get it to like what, like 84, 85. I don't know, but I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying, you're like giving up 80% crit damage. I don't know, man. I think like the Red Horn is still gonna do more damage. Like, I want to say that, especially for like, right? I think Noel is gonna do better with this weapon. The other one might, because that one like gives you like shield strength and stuff, right? Like, it's like, come on. Who like, I just feel like this is gonna be still better. Look at this. Defense is increased by 28%. Normal and charge attack damage is increased by 40% of defense. Imagine your C6 Noel using this weapon. Yeah, no. I think, yeah, after looking at this again, like, I think this one is better overall for Noel. For sure. Last good weapon banner was Homa and Elegy. One of the best banner weapons. Yeah. Homa Elegy is a good one. Although, like I think Elegy is one of those weapons that nobody is actively waiting for the rerun. But like when it comes out as a secondary weapon on a banner with a good weapon, really good value. 80 crit damage at 80 is insane. Yeah, the value of this, like, of the stats here is good. But of course, it has a much lower base stat, right? So, look at this. It's 10 levels. I know it's 10 levels, but like to have like over 100 base damage difference at 10 levels. Yeah. But 80 crit damage is no joke. No joke at all. with the okay, let's just end the stream here soon then. Like with the case of Yelan, I do think being a hydro character, there's of course always a lot of value. But the whole point of me saying Yelan might be yikes is that she might end up going from a very anticipated character with lots of potential and promise to just being a character that's like, okay, right? She's pretty good. All right. When she could have been amazing. When she could have been like, wow, she could have been out of this world. Because we're now I'm kind of just reiterating what I said in that video. It's like HoYoVerse has the potential here to make something new, to design something new for us, or they can kind of make her do something that already exists in the game, or or combine many characters into one. I said that in the video, right? So after reading the comments, apparently she's gonna be a really good character that kind of combines the usage of different hydro characters, which I don't think is a problem. But I would stay on the side of caution to think that she's not going to have some sort of drawbacks or severe limitations of some sort. And sometimes when limitations gets to a certain point, it just feels uncomfortable to use. Like, oh, I gotta do this and then that, and then like when this happens, I can only do this, and like I don't like it when that happens. That's why I enjoy characters like Aya, because like what limitations? There's not many limitations. The only like hard limitation is like her burst cost. Like it costs 80. So it's like, okay. I don't like it when like, okay, you gotta do this 3 times, and then after you do this, you can do this, and after you do this, you're forced to do this, or else the character kind of, you know, defeats the whole purpose. It just feels weird. It's overcomplicating things in many ways, and it's putting too many restrictions on what the character can and cannot do, right? Like for Yamiko, they took her charge attacks and made it so slow. Like why would they do that? Like what's the point? So what if we can, you know, charge attacks a couple times? Like is charge attacking gonna break Yamiko? It's not like she has like charge attack gimmicks like Ganyu where there's insane scaling. It's just a charge attack. Why put such a limitation on a character, right? So that's my fear with Yelan, because I know HoYoVerse always go out of their way to do something like that to make characters feel more troublesome than enjoyable to play with. So yeah. That's that. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really enjoyed today's stream talking about stuff. 爵士黄瓜 says plus Yai already has a stamina limitation. Like there's just so many things going on with Yamiko that make her feel more like I guess in a way annoying than satisfying. Which when your design gets to a point where the character feels more annoying to play than satisfying, something is wrong. All right. So I'll see you guys next time. I'll be editing the video. I'll probably upload a video tomorrow. So until then, urge you all to stay safe and peace. Bye bye.